Hi everyone, welcome to today's GCSE revision video. There's one day to go into your GCSE Maths exam, so your first GCSE Maths paper is tomorrow. I just want to say good luck with it. I really hope it goes well. I hope that the paper goes really well and that all your hard work is paid off. And you have worked really hard. Not only have you been watching these 100 days to go videos, you've probably been doing loads of past papers, loads of revision, loads of work in school. Not just that, all the work you've been doing in maths from primary school all the way through into secondary school up to today. So I just want to say well done. You've worked so hard in your maths over the years. And if I've helped you in any way, I really, I'm glad that I've been able to help you in terms of maybe any videos and resources that you've used in terms of your GCSE Maths revision. So I really want to say well done on getting to where you've got to, and I really hope that tomorrow goes well for you. Okay. Now, in terms of tomorrow, obviously there's a day to go. It's this the day before the exam. So I'm going to give you talk a little bit about the exam paper and then just some sort of tips in terms of between now and the exam. So first of all, in terms of the exam paper tomorrow, the first thing I'm going to say is try every question. So whenever you're doing the paper tomorrow, you might find that there's some easier questions and you might find there's some questions that are a bit harder. And that's natural. The examiners don't want everyone to be getting 100%. So they're going to put in some questions that are going to trip up most people. There's some that are going to be quite tricky, particularly towards the end of the paper. But try every question. Give it a go. What you write down and what you try and do for that question, if you can find the topic and write down what you know about it, maybe use a formula and so on, you might pick up some marks. That might make a big difference in terms of your overall grade. So I would say try every question tomorrow whenever you're in the paper, okay? And don't worry if there's the old question which is tricky, because that's normal, okay? There's going to be some easier questions, there's going to be some harder questions, there's going to be lots and lots hopefully you can do, and there's going to be a few that you might not be able to do. But don't panic, that's normal. Everyone's going to be in the same position as you, okay? So just go in and try the very best you can and try every question tomorrow, okay? The next thing I would say is read it carefully. So whenever you're doing questions, particularly the wordy ones, make sure you read the questions carefully, okay? Sometimes you think it's asking you for something, but then whenever you actually read it carefully, it's actually asking you for something else. So make sure you read the question carefully, perhaps read each question twice before you do it. And those wordy ones, perhaps even 3 times, just make sure you read it very carefully. You know what you want, what the examiner wants from you tomorrow, okay? So read the questions carefully. And the next thing I say is check your answers. If you've got some time left at the end of the exam, just go through each question and sort of just check and think, have I done this right? Make sure you haven't missed a page, open every page carefully and make sure you haven't missed a page. So I would say, go through the paper carefully, make sure you haven't missed any questions, check your answers make sense. If there's a question that perhaps you found a bit trickier and you've written something down, see if you can write anything else down in terms of that question and so on. But, read it carefully and also check your answers if you've got time left at the end. Okay. The next thing I would say is show your method. Sometimes we take things for granted. For instance, we might think, oh, there's a circle, it's got a radius of 3. We might be thinking, oh, if I ask you for the area, you might just, in terms of pi, you might just say 9 pi. You might just automatically square the radius in terms of pi. But write down the area is pi r squared, pi times 3 squared, pi times 9, and then 9 pi centimeter squared or something like that there. So make sure that you're showing your method tomorrow, okay? Don't just jump to answers. If you're typing it particularly on if it's a calculator paper, if you're doing OCR, it might be calculator tomorrow. So make sure you're writing down your method on those calculator papers and make sure you're writing down what you're typing into your calculator screen. If you're doing AQA or LXL and so on, obviously tomorrow's a non-calculator paper, so you will need to do your working out and things like that. But whenever it comes to the calculator papers, again, make sure you're writing down what you type into your calculators and so on. Okay, so there's some tips in terms of the exam paper. The other thing I would say is obviously it's a day to go. So if there's any topics and things you need to recap, do recap them and go through them and make sure you're happy with the topics. I'd be going through your revision cards. If you've been writing the things on with your window pens on the windows, make sure you're looking at that window, making sure you've looked at it. If you use the cheat sheet, perhaps, if you've got those old cheat sheets, look at them and make sure you remember the things that you wrote down in your cheat sheet. Maybe get a friend or a family member to just quiz you in terms of your paper, in terms of your maths, and make sure that you're confident with everything. But what I would say is also, try and get a good night's sleep tonight. Don't revise really late. What I find is with the website, I actually notice the website's really busy often through the night, into like 1, 2 in the mornings and so on. And it's important you get a good night's sleep. You want to be trying to go into this exam as fresh as you can. So do get a good night's sleep tonight. Do get some rest, and then sort of tomorrow, whenever in terms of going to the exam, make sure that you get a good breakfast. Make sure that you've had something to eat, because the exams are quite long. So make sure you've got that energy. If you like porridge or bananas and slow release energy and things like that. And I'm not a food scientist, but make sure that you've had like a decent breakfast and you've got energy to keep you going through that exam paper tomorrow. Okay, so get a good night's sleep, get up tomorrow, make sure that you're leaving yourself plenty of time to travel to school, to get to the exam hall. You make sure you know where you're going to be sat. If you've done any GCSE exam papers already, you'll kind of know the routine in terms of where you're meant to go in the seats and things like that. Give yourself good time to travel to school so you're not sort of running late and things like that. Okay, and make sure you've had something good for breakfast. But also, the other thing I would say is just believe in yourself. You've worked really, really hard. You know this. You know all this info stuff. You've gone through your checklist. You know your GCSE Maths. You know all the things. You've done it in lessons. It's in there somewhere. Okay, so I just want to say, go in, try your very best. That is all you can do in terms of your exams. All you can do is try your best. If you've been doing your revision, you've been doing your past papers, you've been working hard on revising for this Maths exam, you've been trying your best. And so tomorrow when that exam comes, just try your very best. If the paper is really hard, well, just think to yourself, everyone else is probably finding it hard, so don't worry about it, okay? Just go in and try the very best you can. If the paper medium, where there's some easy, some hard, that's probably normal. If you find it quite easy, that's fantastic. It just means that you've revised really hard and you know that stuff. But what it says, don't worry, just go in and try the very best you can tomorrow. And I really, really hope it goes well for you. So again, I just want to say thanks so much for watching these videos. Thanks for using the Corbettmaths resources over the years. If you have found them useful, please tell a friend, and perhaps in year 10 and so on, that you found the Corbettmaths resources useful over the years. And I just want to say again, good luck tomorrow. You've worked your socks off and you can do this, and I believe in you, and I really, really hope tomorrow goes well for you. Okay, so thanks again for watching these 100 Days to Go's videos. This is the last one, so there won't be a video tomorrow at 3 o'clock. If you want to, just watch it over a couple of Maths videos instead. But I really hope you found these videos useful, and thanks so much. Cheers, bye.